Today,
Good
inshallah, we're
morning.
going to tackle yes, morning to you. It's a grammar lesson today. It's adjectives. But before this, yesterday, we've got a worksheet for the selection how it's taken over. So we start on question number 10, I guess, right?
Yes, Mr. Bachchan.
Yes,
Fine.
yes.
Yes, great. So before we start, we are going to finish this worksheet first. We've got two periods today, so we've got plenty of time. So let's finish this worksheet before starting our grammar lesson today.
Mister,
Yes,
can you say very quickly the answer from the beginning?
yes, certainly. Yeah, okay. 1B, B for book. 2, B and D, B, D. Number 3, C. Number 4, A, D. Number 5, C. Number 6, C. Number 7, A. Number 8, D and C. Number 9, B. Let's read number 10. Read the following quotation from the end of House Taken Over. We had what we had on. I remembered 15,000 pesos in the wardrobe in my bedroom. Too late now. The narrator is telling us that he had a fortune, a lot of money in his bedroom. But it's late now because this part of the house got occupied by the strangers. So it's too late to get to this part of the house and get the money. So they went out of the house empty handed. They had nothing. What does this detail suggest about the force or creature that has invaded the house of the narrator and his sister? A. It's
Think about
greedy.
it yesterday. It was
Yeah,
terrifying enough to make them forget valued positions.
possessions. Yes, that's right. It's terrifying. The creature or the stranger is terrifying enough to make them forget valued possessions, like money, for example. That's right. Thank you, Kazim Hotshot. That's my boy. Number 11, part A. Which option is the best statement of one of the main ideas in House Taken Over? A. Each time people avoid confronting their fear, they lose a little more of themselves until finally they have lost everything. B. People who live in large homes lose track of how much space they have. The space becomes meaningless, and soon they no longer need it at all. Some people have many belongings and do not seem to care, but when they lose everything, they realize how important those belongings were to them. People who do not build relationships with outsiders will regret this decision because eventually they will need support of others and it will be too late. What do you think?
A, maybe. A.
Yes, that's right. A is the correct answer. Each time people avoid confronting their fears. This is what happens actually to the narrator and his sister. They avoided facing their fears. So, a little bit step by step, they lost everything. Yes, great. Thank you. In part B, which excerpt from the story best support the answer to part A? Its a quotation from the story supports the notion or the idea of part A. A. We like the house because it kept the memories of great grandparents, our parents and grandfathers, parental grandfathers, our parents, and the whole childhood. B. Irene and I got used to staying in the house by ourselves, which was crazy. 8 people could have lived in that place and not have gotten in each other way. I never bother anyone. Once the morning housework was finished, she spent the rest of the day on the sofa in her bedroom knitting. I had to shut the door to the passage. They have taken over the back part. In that case, she said, picking up her needles again, we will have to live on this side. So, what do you think?
D, Mister.
Yes, I had to shut the door to the passage. This is what they did. So, they did nothing at all. They have taken over the back part. In that case, she said, picking up her needle again, pretending or as if there's nothing happening in the house, the other part of the house. You will have to live on this side. They had to face the problem, but they escaped. 12. What happens in House Taken Over? That demonstrates most clearly that a story of magical realism
Mister,
is
11 part A and B. What is the answers?
11. Part A, part B, D. So it's AD.
A and D or B?
Yes. D.
D.
Yes. In question number 12, we are dealing with the magical realism. And once again, I'm going to remind you that if you've got magical realism, so you've got mysterious ending. So here it's talking about what happens in the house taken over that demonstrates most clearly that it is a story of magical realism. So let's check which one talks about a mysterious ending of the selections. Selection A, the routine ordinary lives of the characters contrast with the unreal and frightening takeover of the house. B. The lives of the characters are predictable and drawn in such detail that readers vividly recognize the everyday world. C. The supernatural setting, characters, and events are so unrealistic that readers are never allowed to see a parallel to the real world. D. The failure of the characters to respond realistically to events in the house by resisting the intruders invokes suspicion and distrust.
Yeah, the routine ordinary lives of a character's contrast with the unreal frightening takeover of the house.
Yeah, that's right. It's A. The routine, ordinary lives of the characters contrast with an unreal and frightening takeover of the house. Yes, that's right.
Number
In
12, Mister what?
following question, okay, 13, part
Question
A.
number 12 is what?
What?
Number
12?
12.
A. 15. Part A. What is the narrative tune of House Taken Over that contributes most clearly to the magical realism of the story. A. Humorous even when describing sad events. B. Matter of fact even when describing mysterious events. C. Sentimental even when describing meaningless events. D. Tense even when describing ordinary events.
Matter of fact, even when describing mysterious events. Which best supports part A? Hmm.
Yes.
It's either B or D.
Wait a minute. As for part A, that's right. Matter of fact, even when describing mysterious events. Yes, this is the element of the magical realism. You got facts, even when describing mysterious ends or mysterious events. But what supports this from part B is the first
Either B
few
or D.
days were, yes, see, the first few days were painful. Since we had both left so many things in the part that had been taken over, my collection of French literature, for example, was still in the library. Facts here, we are talking about facts. You said B, D,
B or D. Because it has to do something with mysterious events happening. For example, in D, it says about how Erin was talking in her sleep and like it was not from her throat. In other words, like she was possessed. Or it can be B, where he were like running to shut the door and block the other part of the house. So can be either one of them.
yes, but where are the facts in here? Read C aloud. Read it. The first few days were painful, since we had both left so many things in the bar that had been taken over. My collection of French literature, for example, was still in the library. Here, this part actually expresses matter of fact while describing mysterious events. You see, B, I hurled myself against the door before it was too late and shut it, leaned on it with the way of my body. Luckily, the key was on our side. Wherever I ran, the grate rolled into place, into just to be safe. There is no facts in here, but actually, it's liable. Well, actually, this part of the question is not clear. So, guys, that's okay. I may cancel this part of the question because it's not clear really.
You'll be cancelled.
Yeah, consider it because I cannot find facts in here. Though I don't
Which
have
one,
some
mister?
expressions
Which
like
question?
in
13, part A or B?
13, but B, it's not clear somehow.
Okay, that 13, part A. What is the answer?
Yes, 13 part
B.
A is B. Yes, B. But part B actually, as I told you, it's not obvious. It's not clear. That's why I'm going to cancel it because in B somehow could be. So cancel it. It's actually this question is based on your analysis of the text. So it's not clear while analyzing the text to find the answer for this part. Let's move to number 14. What's realistic about house taken over? The brother and sister cannot understand the home's invasion. The house resists the nameless intruders for as long as possible. The outside forces are allowed to take over the house without any uh, opposition. Brother and sister keep busy cleaning house and working on hobbies. Something real. Each of these options expresses something realistic.
D maybe.
Yes, the brother and sister keep busy cleaning house and working on hobbies. That's right. That's really what happened. Yeah, for example, if, we are going to choose A, the brother and sister cannot understand their home's invasion. No, they understand very well what happened, but they ignored it. B, the house resists the nameless intruders for as long as possible. The house did nothing in this election. It's not just like the fall of the house of Asher that the house collapsed when they buried the uh, the girl alive. In C, the outside forces are allowed to take over the house without any opposition. Um, the outside forces are allowed. Who allowed them?
Only two things realistic are that they cannot understand since it's like a mysterious event, or it can be D, cleaning the house. A or D.
Which one is it?
D D.
D, yes. 14D. I guess you are reading some another question, Kazim. We are number 14.
I know number 14. What is realistic? Can be A or D.
Yes. D. Actually, number A. The brother and sister can understand the home's invasion. They know that they are under invasion. So it's real. I'm telling you that they are under invasion. It's real. He's talking here about something real. So number A is the opposite. It's unreal that they cannot understand. It's the opposite of that. Number 15. Identify the choice that best answers the question. Effort is a noun that means exertion or something done by force or work. The suffix less, meaning without or lacking, can be added to the word to form a new word, effortless. Once the suffix is added, how does the meaning of the part of speech change? You understand this? When we are adding the suffix less
It's
at the
still
end
a
of the word,
noun, but like it means like
yes,
less, so it means reduced because less. I think.
yes, it's still a noun, that's right, but it's the opposite in meaning.
Effortless. When something
B.
is effortless. Ah, so
Yes.
it's like describing something as effortless. So now it's like an adjective without exertion or work or lacking work.
You may transfer the yes, this part of speech from a noun into an adjective. This could be. Well, here I'm talking about the meaning. The meaning is the opposite. Effortless is the opposite of effort. Count is the opposite of countless. So when I'm using the suffix less and then the word, I'm getting the meaning of without this thing, without. So as you said, it's now an adjective meaning without exertion or work. That's right. So 15 before moving. Once again, the correct answer for 15 is B. Number 16. Appear
Mr.
is a
for
verb meaning 15 again, it's B.
okay.
Appear is a verb meaning to become visible. The prefix this can be added to the word to form a new word. Disappear.
When you add
Yeah,
this,
appear is the
like
opposite of
it
disappear.
becomes reversed. So
Yeah.
as in appear
Again,
is
it's
a
the
verb
opposite in meaning.
to manifest.
Yeah,
And now when you put this, it will become opposite. To get into sight is appear, and disappear to go out of sight.
that's right. That's it. So both are antonyms. I mean, they are the opposite. Which answer choice best describes how the word change once the prefix is added? It's still a verb, but now means vanish or go out of sight. It's now an adjective that means vanish or go out of sight. It's now a noun that means something that does not appear. It's still a verb but means something that does not appear.
A, Mr. Maybe.
That's right. It's still a verb actually, but it's the opposite in meaning. Now means vanish or go outside of sight. So 16 is A. We are going to skip 17. It's grammar. We didn't take this rule up till now, so we are going to skip 17, 18, 19, and 20. And let's read 21, 22, and 23. 21. How are the house? Sorry. How are the houses similar in the fall of the house of Asher and house taken over? Choose two options. How they are alike. Both are very ordinary homes. Both are located in urban areas. Both have several residents who live there. Both have long been in the owners' families. Both are large and reflect the wealth of the owners. Guys, we're comparing the house taken over to the fall of the house of Usher. Both
Uh,
houses similar
D
in
and
what?
E.
That's right. Both have long been in the owners' families. Both are large and reflect the wealth of the owners. So it's B and E. Good. 22,
It is B or D.
21. D. D for desk, D for door. So it's D and E. Twenty-two. How do all how do the fall of the house of Asher and house taken over differ in their approach to describing events, characters, and places? A. The fall of the house of Asher calmly depicts terrifying events, while house taken over dramatically depicts terrifying events. The fall of the house of Asher portrays realistic characters,
See?
while house taken over portrays characters who seem largely see the fall of the house of Asher. vividly depicts frightening events, while the house taken over calmly depicts growing threat. D is the
Mister, I
fall of the
think
house of
C.
Ashur, everyday environment, while house taken over describes a dark, bleak environment. It's just I had to read to know in order to get the correct answer. So you're telling me what?
C, Mister.
Yes, see, the fall of the house of Ashur vividly depicts frightening events, while house taken over calmly depicts a growing threat. That's right. In the fall of the house of Ashur, the source of frightening is the house. But actually, in house taken over, it's not the house. It's not the source. The house is not the source. The house stays calm when house taken over. But you've got outsiders who are trying to terrify the hero and the heroine. So that's how the fall of the House of Asher and House Taken Over are different in describing the house itself, in describing the events, characters, and places. In the last question here,
It is C.
yes, last question here, how does the narrators respond to the supernatural event in the fall of the House of Asher differ from the character's response in House Taken Over? A. The narrator in the fall of the House of Asher pretends nothing is wrong. The characters in House Taken Over know what is happening and why. B. The narrator in the fall of the House of Asher thinks that there is a logical explanation for what is happening. The characters in House Taken Over do not know anything is wrong. C. The narrator in the fall of the House of Asher is aware of the supernatural and seeks answers. The characters in House Taken Over do not confront their terror, but try to ignore it.
C or D?
For
I say C.
yes, see, the narrator in the fall of the House of Asher is aware of the supernatural and seeks answers. The characters in House Taken Over don't confront their terror, but
So,
try to ignore it.
so what's
Yes,
22?
A2C, A3C,
22.
yes, 22C.
To 3C also.
3, yes, C. Well, let me ask you a question before we move to the grammar lesson for today. If you are in the narrator and Iron shoes, what would you do? Would you do the same, or you could do something else to solve the problem or the conflict? Who can answer this question? Please, if you know the answer, you have the symbol of the hand. So raise your hand.
Which story, Mister?
The the house taken over.
I would go in and check out what is taking over the house. Then I would assess the situation and know what to do.
Oh, but the problem is maybe they are scavenger, maybe they are the strangers could be armed. They may have weapons. So it could be an adventurous actually to check yourself in order to evaluate the situation. You may put yourself into risk if you do this. So do you insist on checking yourself? What's happening there? Who else?
The same
Who else could
answer.
tell us about his opinion? The same answer. Okay. So you're going to check what's going on. You have to evaluate the situation. After that, yes, okay.
And take a weapon with them.
Oh, that's okay. If you've got a weapon and you can go to evaluate the situation in order to know what are you going to do exactly. Yes, this is a positive situation. That's right. You know what? The hero and the heroine of this selection are trying to escape or just to rescue their lives. That's all. What's happening? It doesn't matter at all. They are losing everything. Maybe their lives later on they're going to lose their lives. Because what? Because they didn't try to confront. They didn't want to face the problem. Fine. Well, today, if you are going to talk about adjectives, so first of all, we have to define what's an adjective. We are just have
A
three.
word that describes
Yes.
a property of a noun. Like, for example, a red book,
Yeah.
a flying bird, um, a
It's
tall
not.
man.
Yeah, but it's not describing a property. It's describing a pronoun, noun or pronoun. Yeah, you're right. The adjective could be one word or more. The adjective modifies the noun or pronoun.
Or
It
another
modi-
adjective.
yeah, no. The word that modifies another adjective is an adverb. It's the next lesson. It's lesson for next week, inshallah, the adverb. So the adjective is only modifying a noun or a pronoun. When it modifies another adjective, no, it's not an adjective. It's no longer an adjective, it's an adverb. Okay. You know how many types of adjectives do we have in English language?
No.
We've got 7 types of adjectives in English language. Number one, the descriptive adjective. When you're saying, for example, Ali is tall, so tall in here is a descriptive adjective because I'm using the word tall to describe Ali. So that's why this adjective is a descriptive adjective. Number two, quantitative adjective. Well, it's the words that express quantity, like, for example, several. What I'm saying, several boys are hurt in the accident. So several in here is a quantitative adjective because it expresses a quantity. Number three, demonstrative adjectives like this, that, these, those. This is the man I trust. So this in here is a demonstrative adjective. Possessive adjective, like for example, my school, رسالة is my school, for example. So mine here is a possessive adjective. Interrogative adjective like what, when, where, why, how, who. In this distributive adjective like each, every, either, neither. Each boy should answer these questions. So each in here is a distributive adjective. And number seven, compound adjective. When you've got two adjectives or more define or modify the same noun. So we're gonna say this is a compound adjective. For example, science is a double-edged weapon. So double-edged in here is a compound adjective for the word weapon. So guys, this is the end of the first period for today. We are going to quit and we are going to join the next class after 1 or 2 minutes. So you've got 2 minutes break to join the next period. Okay, I'm waiting for you there, guys. You understand me?
Yes, yes,
Hello.
okay.
So we're
Yes,
going
yes,
to
Mr.
yes, we're going to end up this period and open the new one. So please join in the next one in 1 or 2 minutes. Assalamu
Okay.
alaikum.